We cut to an office where two men are meeting. There's a framed photo of Harambe on the wall. All is silent except for the hum of a fan in the window. A crusty bird can be seen in the distance.
Well, Troy, you certainly are an odd fellow, but I must say, you drive a good truck.
So?
There's a brief moment of silence between the two men as Troy waits for a response, but Andrew, the manager, says nothing.
Did I get my CDL or not?
Troy, I'm prepared to trust you one of the greatest shipments in history. If you can do this, I will grant your commercial driver's license.
You wouldn't want to leave this to one of your more trusted drivers?
This is a very important shipment that a lot of people will be after. I need someone to make the shipment that no one would expect. You know, keep suspicion low.
Wow, sir. Well,
Also, you're expendable.
Oh, well, I mean, it's no sweat. Nah.
Do not worry, my boy. I've hired a bodyguard to protect the shipment.
And me, right?
Sure, kid. Whatever helps you sleep at night.
Just then, Joe walked in.
Well, Andrew, I made it, despite your direction. Ah, Super Saiyan Joe. Welcome. I hope you're prepared for an unforgettable mission. Nah. Hey, Troy. Long time no see. I'm more than happy to help a good friend of mine pass his CDL test.
Oh, thank you, Joe. That means a lot.
You know, it's kind of funny seeing you can fly and all, being part of the Bird Clan, yet you're so skilled at driving trucks. Nonetheless, I'd be more than happy to accompany you across the country. Shame Hambo isn't here, though. It would be funny to play Stuck on You the whole way there.
Yeah, it's a living. I am determined, though. If I get my CDL, I can eventually amass as much wealth as the Harambe fortune.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Mr. Payson. You only pass your exam by delivering this precious cargo. It will be a long way from Freeman, Washington. That's why you have 1 week to make this important delivery.
May I ask what exactly is in the cargo that I am delivering?
Troy, I'm trusting you to deliver the largest shipment of Nintendo eShop DLC cards straight to Nintendo America HQ in Washington. These DLC cards are highly valued among gamers, and in order to not allow them to fall into the wrong hands, I've hired Joe here to assist you.
I appreciate that, sir. But won't it be more cost efficient for Joe to just, I don't know, use his instant transmission to deliver the DLC cards safely without the risk of running into any threats along the way?
One more crack like that and you're out of here.
Troy now on his knees, begging for mercy.
No, please. I have a little brat named Alex to feed at home.
I expect great things from you, Troy. Who knows, with your work ethic, maybe one day you might be able to be in my position, or even higher up.
I won't let you down, sir.
Well, we should get going, Troy. It's going to be a long trip, but don't worry, we can listen to my SoundCloud playlist of Little Cat, Elvis, and Vaporwave along the way. Also, I don't know if you've eaten yet, so I packed lunch. I have 2 sandwiches with chicken cutlets, fresh prosciutto ham, mozzarella, pesto mayo, lettuce, tomato, all on freshly baked ciabatta bread.
Wow, thanks, Joe. You're so handsome and cool. This CDL test will be a breeze, and I'll especially love savoring the sandwich with chicken cutlet, fresh prosciutto ham, mozzarella, pesto mayo, lettuce, tomatoes, all on a freshly baked ciabatta bread.
Troy and Joe both got into Troy's huge shipping truck after the precious DLC cargo was loaded and drove off into the sunset to start their journey across the country. Troy gleefully tugging his truck's pull chain with the loudly blasted as his custom horn as they drove off. Meanwhile, by a dumpster outside a bar, there's the sound of electricity, and a giant green orb blooms. What emerges is a naked man, kneeling, faced away in the previously empty alley. He stands slowly. This man is Alex Travers, but not the Alex Travers we know and love. He is tall, powerfully built, and covered in cybernetic parts. He glances down, taking calm inventory of himself, and notices that a fine white ash covers his skin. He brushes it off unconcernedly as he walks towards the bar, moving with graceful precision and scanning his surroundings. He walks until he comes up upon 3 men dressed in leather jackets and mohawks. Upon approaching them, he speaks, "A little breezy tonight, isn't it?"
Breezy? Yes, it is.
Laundry day, huh? Nothing to wear?
Laundry? Yes.
Come on, guys. Let's just get out of here. The new DLC just dropped before he can finish. His head had been punched off by Alex, who, having heard the word DLC, was set into a malicious frenzy. The second hoodlum looked at him, shaking violently. He dug into his pocket and pulled out a small leather object, offering it to Alex in panic.
Here, take it.
Alex looked in disgust at the wallet, and then pure rage engulfed him as he slammed his fist into the hoodlum's chest and tore his heart clean through the other side. The second hoodlum, now vomiting gallons of blood as he dropped to the floor dead, when Alex removed his fist from his body. His heart was still clenched in that very fist. The act satisfied him as it reminded him fondly of something he had done to a dear friend only years ago.
It doesn't count as DLC money unless it comes from Hambo's wallet.
He looked at the third hoodlum.
Show me your ass.
Meanwhile, we cut to another part of the city strategically set ahead of Troy's route. We see a seedy apartment and storefronts. The streets glisten, hissing with sporadic late-night traffic. A shockwave hurls trash into the air, painted over windows shatter. A figure drops out of the sky and smacks the pavement with a muddy splash. A naked gorilla, compact and muscular, rises in a defensive crouch. It is future Hinham. He is 19, but his face has been aged by ordeal. The mouth hard, eyes grim. A crinkled burn scar traverses the side of his face to chin to forehead. Other scars from burns and bullets mar his hard, muscular, gorilla body. I need to find something to cover my body. If he sees your ass live, his power only grows. Hinham digs into a dumpster nearby, desperately pulling out ripped jeans and an old cami. It will have to do. I need to stop this monster. Hinham runs towards the speedway. He knows Joe and Troy should be stopped at soon. Meanwhile, Troy and Joe are well on their way to Nintendo HQ. Troy and Joe are jamming out with some vaporwave and talking about her Kirby Superstar Ultra is superior. They're talking about her Kirby Superstar Ultra is clearly the superior Kirby game. When suddenly, gunfire can be heard from behind Troy's truck.
What the fuck was that?
Behind them was none other than Bling Bling Boy, pursuing them in this high-tech golden Volkswagen Beetle. The Bling Bling Beetle, equipped with Gatling guns.
This loser again?
Just then, a megaphone, that's also gold, protrudes from the top of this vehicle.
Yes, it is I, Bling Bling Boy, and I will play that DLC to impress the lovely Series 10. She loves Kirby, and they're coming out with 4 DLC characters with Star Allies. Getting rid of you, Joe, and only think I'm loving 4 piece.
Bling Bling Boy laughs maniacally, opening fire on Troy's truck.
Hold on, Joe. I'll lose this weed.
Troy then puts on his trucker hat, so you know he's serious. He then slams on the gas pedal and yanks his pole chain layout in an invigorating "Ee-yaw!" and flies down the highway to avoid the gunfire.
I am not letting some stupid, lowbrow, dirty, damn, fat, little Susan loving, this is not a good idea.
just pull him fast.
Ruin my chance.
Call him a cunt, that's your go-to.
I am not letting some low-down, dirty, over-rich Hambo Jake hybrid ruin my chances of getting my CDL and interrupting my quality bonding time with my good friend, Joe.
I trust you completely, Troy. And I could easily handle this. I mean, enter the manager behind me. That...
No, Joe. You gave me an unforgettable luncheon. The least I can do. Now I can show you just how much I've learned trying to get my CDL.
Just then, Troy expertly drifts the truck into an exit in an attempt to avoid Bling Bling Boy's barrage of gunfire. Bling Bling Boy is in hot pursuit. Troy, under no pressure at all, avoids the other cars on the road with the greatest of ease, somehow bobbing and weaving his gargantuan-sized truck through traffic. Joe is impressed and quickly wondered if his services were even needed in the first place. Troy then drives down a hill with a steep incline. He noticed a blue, blurry object in the front of his truck. His parked cars on the side of the road were sent flying into the air by Troy's driving. Troy blinks, but the blue blur was gone in an instant. Troy laughs as he looks at Bling Bling Boy in his rearview mirror, progressively getting farther and farther from view.
This nerd can't even drift right. What an amateur. Would I amass my fortune With my CDL, I could easily afford something better than that poor excuse for an automobile. It's just a golden turd on wheels.
I know, right? How do they think that gilded piece of trash is going with us?
Bling Bling Boy is visibly angered by the lack of his speed compared to Troy's immaculate truck driving skills and begins to have a fit.
Mother was right. I should have spent all my allowance money on the gold plating. I knew I should have gotten the turbo.
One of Bling Bling Boy's tires popped due to the intense drifting to catch up with Troy. Bling Bling Boy had no choice but to pull over and call it AAA. Bling Bling Boy was furious, so he could. Bling Bling Boy was furious he could not come close to Troy's rigorous amount of training he did for CDL. He was no match. He had failed and was unable to impress the lovely Susan Test and acquire the coveted DLC. Bling Bling Boy would have to go home as a miserable failure always. But then, suddenly a mysterious red car pulled up on the side of the road, but didn't seem like anyone was driving it at first glance.
Ka-chow! Hey buddy, you need a ride?
Bling Bling Boy looked up from his pitiable state to see none other than his college roommate, Lightning McQueen.
Why so glum, chum?
My Bling Bling Beetle popped a tire and I no more spares. And worst of all, I let Jonah, who Troy get away with all the DLC. And now Susan Test will never go out with me.
Don't worry, friend. I'll help you catch him. I am Speed. 1 winner, 2 losers. I eat losers for breakfast. Float like a Cadillac, sting like a Beamer. I owe you a favor anyway for modifying my body to be more aerodynamic and win more races. Ka-chow!
Most splendid, Lightning McQueen. Together with your speed and my intellect, no fool will crash and burn. Let us combine our powers.
Bling Bling Boy then pulled out Atari earrings.
Holy Porsche! Where did you get those?
I'll answer to that when you tell me how exactly there are sentient anthropomorphic cars existing.
Let's get her done.
Bling Bling Boy put on one of the earrings on his right ear and then placed the other around Lightning McQueen's left side view mirror. They high-fived and spun around for a double boost, allowing them to fuse together to form Bling Lightning.
Ka-bling! Now I
think
King should
finish this race.
Bling Lightning accelerated forward with enough speed to break the sound barrier in pursuit of Joe and Troy. We cut back to Troy, and Joe looks really unaware that they were still being followed.
I mean, I'm just saying, what kind of drugs do you have to do to name your child Mert anyway?
Troy was cut off by the impact of Lightning Blink ramming full speed into his truck, causing it to veer slightly off-road, before Troy quickly regains control of his truck.
Ka-bling! Ka-bling! Hand over that DLC,
you imbeciles.
Looks like this fucking nerd doesn't know when to quit.
Is he a fetish for fusion or something? This routine is starting to get old.
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
I'll end this
quick.
Now
that
I've
I've
ascended,
ascended,
there's no way
you
you
can
can evade me
be in
in
that
that constant jump.
There's a flicker of anger in Troy's eyes.
I have trained for months in this truck. It's my pride and joy, and I'll use it to be richer than you ever were, Bling Bling bitch.
Troy tightens his trucker hat, so you know he's serious. He tells Joe not to worry, and to tighten his seatbelt as he's about to kick it into maximum overdrive. Troy's truck speeds up immensely. He steers his massive truck with all the kinetic energy of his boost into Bling Lightning, which causes them to swerve into oncoming traffic. Bling Lightning quickly zooms out of that lane behind Troy. Bling Lightning ignites his turbo drive into the rear of Troy's truck doing some damage to the container, holding the precious DLC. As Bling Lightning continues his onslaught of ramming with the turbo boost from out of his peripheral vision, at the top of Troy's truck, the blast of pure energy hurtles towards them. Bling Lightning barely avoided it, even with his immense speed and reflexes. Sensing they were in danger, Bling Lightning looked in the direction of the attack and saw the silhouette of a figure they couldn't quite make out. Even in the past, you are still annoying to deal with, Bling Bling Boy. The figure then jumped 30 feet in the air above Bling Lightning and fired a huge blast of energy down, raining on Bling Lightning, causing him to lose control of his speed and swerve uncontrollably.
How could this
be? Who are you?
That DLC belongs to me.
Looks like you should be worrying about a different kind of DLC. Don't lose control. The mysterious figure fired another blast of energy. A blink lightning one fire which exploded and sent them rolling off the road, smashing through a guardrail and falling off the cliff.
I'll be back!
There is a powerful explosion at the bottom of the cliff where cautious flames shoot up, revealing the silhouette to be him. Keeping a watchful eye on Joe and Troy, who he had finally located, he then landed back on the roof of Troy's truck and resumed hiding, ready to encounter the immense threat that awaited them.
Huh. Guess that rich used asshole couldn't even afford good tires. Well, it looks like we don't have to deal with them anymore.
Thank goodness. I don't know exactly what happened there, but good riddance. He's been getting increasingly annoying to deal with, along with whoever entertains the idea of fusing with them. I'm sure he'll be back sooner or later, but it won't be for a while. Now there's no one else to get in the way of our mission, getting your CDL. Great driving there, Troy. I'm really impressed with your drifting.
Thank you, Joe. That means a lot. I am just glad that I kept the DLC. But most of you... Thank you, Joe. That means a lot. I am just glad that I kept the DLC. But most of all, you're safe.
Oh, you.
Troy then noticed that he's low on gas and cheese nips. So he decided to pull up to the nearest gas station while Joe volunteered to assess the damage that Bling Lightning did to the truck. Troy pulled into the nearest speedway and got out to make his purchase. Joe was just about to leave when he heard the noise on the top of the truck. Worried that it would be another DLC thief taking advantage of their stop, he quickly sprung into action. When he exits the vehicle and creeps around the side, he is surprised at what he finds. Standing there, examining the truck, is someone that looks familiar.
Have I seen you somewhere before?
Joe, it's me, Him. Remember when I was little and we went on an adventure to the Ghost Zone? And you said you were my best friend and that if I ever needed a place to stay...
Hold on, Him. Hold on, Him. I don't remember saying all that.
That's just it, Joe. I'm not the Him you know and love. Not exactly, at least.
I never said I loved...
There's no time, Joe. I came here from the future to warn you. The future is in danger from the greatest threat we ever faced.
Oh no. Has Lance Black returned?
No, Joe.
Has Bling Bling Boy finally developed character?
Yeah, that chance.
Has Susan Tess gone insane after having a taste of my seed and decided to end the world unless she can have more?
No, Joe. It's far more than worse than all those things combined.
What is it?
Alex. Joe started to laugh. Him sure had become a rowdy little kid since he had grown up, coming all the way back from the future just to tell Joe a hilarious joke in the hopes of impressing him. What a character that Him was. He slowly finished laughing, holding back tears of mirth.
Alright, Him. I appreciate you coming to see me, but I'm working on an important mission with Troy right now, and I really don't have time for jokes like this.
Joe, it's not a joke! Alex lost his mind in the future. He killed everyone. I know you think you have nothing to worry about, Joe, with your rippling biceps and chiseled features. I know rest days wish they could take you, Joe, but even with all your beauty, even you are dead in the future.
No, Alex would never kill me. Or at the very least, he would never be able to kill me.
Him thinks back nervously to the future where he had rubbed up against a sweat rag Joe used for the gym. And as a result, Joe had contracted a heart virus that was innocuous to gorillas but fatal to humans. It was definitely Alex that killed you.
Him, explain to me what
There's no time, Joe. You'll have to wait. Look, Troy suddenly emerged from the gas station, a full box of cheese nips in his hands, shoveling them down his throat, handful after handful.
Hey, Joe. Who the fuck is this nerd?
Oh, hey Troy. This is Him. He'll be coming with us for our trip as a special connection.
Joe winked at Him. The word special in Him beamed. You mean it, Joe? I can really come with you?
Of course, Him. We're gonna need all the protection we can get.
Joe leaned in close, so Troy couldn't hear.
Just don't tell Troy about what you know. Oh, sorry, let me do it again. Just don't tell Troy about you know who. He's already under a lot of pressure for this test. Don't make it harder for him, okay?
Joe, you're so good, you always know best. And again, Joe and Troy set off to Nintendo HQ, now accompanied by their new companion, Him. But it wasn't long before the truck had to turn around a steep bend that meandered about a tall, grassy hill. and it was at the top of that hill that stood a dark figure, now fully clothed and clearly 6'2". Catherine. He held in his hands a rocket launcher, and he steadied his aim at the truck and fired. The explosion rocked the entire highway, and the truck was knocked on the side. And the truck was knocked on its side. Joe and Troy and Him Ham all crawled out from the side of the hill, seemingly unharmed. Joe, it's him! I told you, it really is Alex.
I don't believe it.
What is this noodle dick faggot doing here?
Alex dropped the rocket launcher and began to smile devilishly.
Hello, Joe. Pleasure to finally see you again. And Him Ham as well.
Don't forget about me. I know your mom never did.
Yes, and you too, Troy. I think I'll miss your sense of humor the most after I exterminate you.
Alex, you don't have to do this. This DOC isn't worth our friendship.
Shut your whore mouth, Joe!
Joe was shocked. He had never heard Alex speak to him in that way, as he had always assumed correctly that Joe loved him more than Catherine. This truly wasn't the Alex he knew.
Oh, I do need to do this, Joe. Him Ham should know. Didn't you tell them the truth, Him Ham? How Hambo fucked me, sitting by every day, watching him buy everyone's DLC but mine? Do you know how that feels? Hambo said we were friends, no, brothers. Yet, my DLC always went unpurchased on the eShop. And one day, he took it too far, Joe. Tell them, Him Ham.
Him Ham, what does he mean?
The one thing Alex would do anything for, the one thing he holds above all other things.
You can't possibly mean.
That's right, Joe. Pyra.
Joe gasped in shock as Troy looks on confused.
Who the fuck is Pyra?
How is that possible? What do you even mean? You have Xenoblade 2, Alex. Isn't Pyra in the base game?
That's where you're wrong, Joe. They've been working on the project for years, and this was no ordinary DLC. No, this was the real Pyra. Once you purchased the DLC, a digital download would begin, and once it was completed, the real-life Pyra would materialize out of your Nintendo Switch and say, I love you, Alex Travers. It was written in the script, but Joe, that Hambo motherfucker, he said he wouldn't buy it for me. He said Mr.Lance needs his fighter's character so he can play Broly. And that's when it all started, Joe. The Zero DLC plan. I swore that if I couldn't have that DLC, no one could.
You monster, Alex!
The cake was delicious, Joe, and now I've come back to the past to destroy that shipment of DLC, so no one will ever be able to enjoy Pyra but me. When I'm through here, I'm gonna pay Hambo a visit. I'm gonna make him eat his own wallet before I rip it out of his throat and purchase that DLC with the only money that matters, the only money that will ever matter. And no one can stop me, Joe. I am the tallest of mountains. I am the roughest of waves. I am the toughest of terrors. And I am the darkest of days.
It's no use, Joe. His power is infinite.
Him Ham, if you thought it was useless, you wouldn't have come back to pacify me.
You're right, Joe. Together, we can show the world what we can do.
That's right, Him Ham. Now let's show him our hidden secret technique.
Okay. Him Ham and Joe look at each other and nod. They both jump in the air and high-five each other and begin mashing square violently on each of their controllers, simulating the action of building a power when in reality the action did nothing.
This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
Together, Him Ham and Joe Together, Him Ham and Joe burst forth as a bolt of pure electricity and fire towards Alex. A brilliant flash rocks the sky, and an explosion is seen for miles. When the smoke clears, Him Ham and Joe are standing there, each of their fists caught by Alex.
I told you it was pointless, didn't I?
Alex throws them off the hill and they tumble down to the truck. Are you okay, Joe?
Don't worry about me, Him Ham. We need to focus on Alex right now.
Joe, you're so... Oh, God. Your shirt's ripping off. Oh, I'm a little distracted right now, Joe. Maybe you should cover that up. Little hearts appear where Him Ham's eyes should be, clearly displaying his affection, like in anime.
You two aren't worth my time. Instead, I'll leave you to my most trusted, most useful, my best friend.
Could it be?
That's right. Infinite.
Reality begins to shimmer, and everything turns red as pixels begin to scatter about. A shudder of static oscillates near Alex until it settles on a form that becomes infinite.
But what happened to Sonic?
Oh, you'll see in another month.
Well, that doesn't matter. I'm gonna make you pay for killing me in the future.
What?
What do you mean? I thought you said.
You monster! Your mind games at work on Joe. Let's hurry and take him down before he tries to tear us apart, Joe.
Anyway, I'll leave this to you, Infinite. I have a date with Pyra.
Alex activated his rocket boots and flies off, leaving Infinite to fight Joe and Him-Ham.
Him-Ham, you've been injured from the last attack. The super friendship fist bump of heroes is too much for your body to handle. I'll take care of Infinite.
Be careful, Joe.
Don't worry, Him-Ham.
Joe flies towards the hill, ready to take on Infinite. As Him-Ham watches, he can't help but wonder how lucky he is to have such a cool friend. With an indomitable spirit is Joe. He looks on wistfully as the fight begins, not able to hold in his thoughts. So cool! Joe meets Infinite in the air above the highway as they begin the traditional dialogue between hero and villain.
I don't fully understand what happened to Alex, but one thing is clear, and that's that you're no Sonic. Sonic is Alex's best friend, more than anyone, especially Tails and Knuckles. So as far as I'm concerned, that's not my Alex, and I'm going to take you both down.
You can try, but what more could you leave on the vicissitude of a god? You're outmatched, Joe. Bow down and I might let you live.
Alex, you've never befriend a character who says such cliche lines. Enough talk.
Joe and Infinite began to clash at sonic speed in the air. Each time their fists made contact, it was like a crack had splintered the universe in two. The etching spider webbed their way across all of reality to leave a permanent mark on history of the events that were unfolding. They collided several times, testing each other's strength, before Infinite finally made a pause. Joe used the opening to strike, but passed through Infinite. He saw like a phantom, and was struck from behind. Suddenly Joe was falling, but he never hit the ground. It felt like he was falling into a black void that stretched on forever. But when he turned around, all he saw was the open maw of a giant red megalodon, whose entire aspect was like the sun. Arching prominences along its surface, and flares spitting out from its teeth. Joe was going to be devoured, but he released a Kamehameha in the air and landed safely to the ground. I'm gonna go to the back.
How could that be? Megalodons aren't real. Unless...
That's right, Joe. Now you see the reason Alex keeps me around. With the power of the Phantom Ruby, I can alter reality into anything I want. Even a legion of hambos with enough DLC money to buy Australia.
Australia? That's basically just DLC to Great Britain.
Very perceptive, Joe. Now perish.
Wait, why can't you just use the Phantom Ruby to create DLC and Pyra, so Alex doesn't have to go on this rampage?
I am the sharpest of blades. I'll cut you down in a second.
Everything turned a bloody hue of red, and suddenly Joe was treading water in the ocean as he was surrounded by two great warships. Their cannons all locked on him.
Goodbye forever, Joe. I never end, that's the difference in you and me. 'Cause your time is up and everything is falling down. It's only me and you who is gonna save you now.
The cannon opened fire, and explosions rocketed the reality. Him-Ham was in tears, while Troy was starting to enjoy the show, but was running out of cheese nips. Still, as the heat domes of explosions were still mushrooming up into the sky, they were cleared away just as suddenly as they had come. The red color was dispersed and everything became a soft shade of blue as Joe flew over Infinite majestically in his Super Saiyan Blue form.
Sorry, Infinite.
Joe would always apologize in battle because the stronger he was than his opponent, the worse he felt for them when he blew their asses into the Shadow Realm.
But this is goodbye. You live a lie, and that's the difference in you and me. I have the power, let me show you what it's all about. It's only me and you who is gonna save you now.
This cannot be. My power, it's infinite.
I never like cliches either.
A blue orb of energy formed in Joe's hand as he had exploded all over Infinite's face until the sheer force of his load erased every part of Infinite being from existence.
Oh god.
Wow, Joe, can you do that to me? That was amazing. Him is getting hot and bothered by seeing Joe display his feats of strength.
Thanks, Tim-Ham. We need to get going. You ready, Troy?
Sure, Joe. Just let me. Sure, Joe. Just let that. Just. Sure, Joe. Just let me. Sure, Joe. Just let that. Just. Sure, Joe. Just. Sure, Joe. Just let that. Just. Sure, Joe. Just tell that to my truck. Jeez. What is it that you learned when you got that degree? Can you drive an overturned truck? Is that something you learned?
No worries, Troy. I got this.
Joe used his immense strength to right the truck, and after checking that the DLC was still safe, they were off again, now needing to make it to Nintendo HQ more than ever. After some time passed, Joe finally asked,
So, Him-Ham, what really happened now?
"It's just like he said, Joe. When the Nintendo announced that Pirate DLC, Alex lost his mind. He thought that if he had been a good boy all year, Hambo would have bought him DLC for Christmas. Then, well, Christmas came and Alex saw a package peeking out from under the tree, and the outline of it had a huge pair of anime titties. The package was exactly the shape of Pyra. But when Alex opened it, all he saw was Carpet Hambo that said, 'Get wrecked, I bought Mr.Lance's DLC instead.' Hambo and Mr. Lance had been in the middle of a breakup at the time, but for some reason that didn't stop Hambo from buying his DLC. When Alex found out, he lost it.
But after we beat Lance Black, didn't Lord Costanza erase your entire timeline?
That is a different timeline, Joe. That never happened because you changed history when Hambo bought Mr. Lance's DLC. Instead, you created a monster that has far more motivation, is far more creative, and just much, much taller. You created Alex Black.
No! This is all my fault, Him-Ham. Alex Black is my responsibility.
Joe, never blame yourself for anything. And be careful, Alex Black has our timeline, was able to defeat everyone. Once Alex lost his motivation for living, his anime titties, all he had was his physics degree. He started modifying his body with all kinds of weird technology. He was able to artificially become stronger than every being in the universe.
So that's how he killed me.
Him looks away nervously. Yeah, Joe, exactly. But none of that is important now. I came back to the past so we could change this dark future and stop Alex Black once and for all. I don't know how yet, but with you here, we'll be unstoppable, Joe.
If you two retards are done sucking each other's nuts, we're out of Sheesmith. Oh, and Nintendo headquarters is coming up, and it looks like they left their trash on the doorstep.
Standing outside the gate that led to the entrance to Nintendo HQ was Alex Black, the half-cybernetic monster that had been terrorizing Him-Ham's future. Joe and Him-Ham looked at each other and nodded. This would be the final battle.
Don't worry, Troy. We're going to deliver all this DLC and get you that CDL.
Troy puts his feet up on the dash and gets ready to take a nap.
Yeah, whatever. Just hurry up and tell Alex's mom and I change his bedtime to 9 o'clock so he gets out of the way. Fucking retard.
Joe and Him-Ham got out of the truck and faced Alex Black, whose back was facing them at the moment. They got into their battle stances ready to strike when Alex spoke.
It's beautiful, isn't it? To think inside them making my beautiful bride as we speak, adding that little touch of Nintendo magic to every finer detail, every soft cushion of her pillowy skin, every crest and curve of her perfect anime titties. And you all have been so kind as to bring me all the DLC money I could ever need. I should thank you for that, but since you're not Hambo, this isn't really money, is it? No. It's an insult to me and to Pyra, and for that, I will have to kill you.
Alex, I know you're still in there. What would Catherine say about it?
Catherine was a fucking bird, Joe. I'm sorry, but she could never be the anime girl I always wanted.
That's sick, Alex. Catherine loves you. She probably misses you.
Catherine is dead, Joe. I tried to sell her organs for DLC money, but it isn't enough. It is never enough. It will never be be enough. In a day where Day 1 DLC exists for every AAA game and pay-to-win systems exist to make me feel accomplished, do you think I will ever have enough DLC, Joe? I will always need more. I will be the DLC king and Pyra, my queen. And you, Joe, you will be in a body bag.
So you plan on killing me, just like you did in the future.
See, this is the second time you've said that, but I honestly don't remember killing.
Now's our chance, Joe! Him-Ham launched himself at Alex Black, but was quickly deflected to the side. But the attack was merely a diversion to keep his eyes off of Joe, as Joe transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and buried his fist directly into Alex's gut. He felt the heavy machinery inside, but pushed through, rocketing Alex into the sky. Alex stopped in midair, but Him-Ham was already behind him. Both hands intertwined as he brought them down on his back in a sledgehammer smash that he likes to call Harambe Smash! Alex turned around, quickly caught Him-Ham's attack, but Joe was immediately in the blind spot and kicked him into the distance. Joe and Him-Ham raced after him and tossed him around the sky in a lovely ballet of blows until Joe finally punched him skyward dead. His body blocking the sun launched with full power, Kamehameha, directly into Alex's body, sending him harshly into the earth. When the dust had cleared, Alex staggered to his feet, the skin peeling from his body to reveal the mechanical framework underneath, and a glowing red eye.
It's true. You're not human anymore.
Bravo, Joe. The only other person to be able to push me this far was Lord Costanza himself. So, to honor you, I'll show you the same form that he saw, but be warned, it will be the last thing you ever see.
Electricity began to stream out of Alex's body. His GPU began to switch over to the GTX 1080, the extra 64 gigabytes of GDDR Ret 5. This extra 64 gigabytes of GDDR5 RAM he had installed began to thread themselves through his circuits, and processing switched over to the 18-core i9 processor. Steam began to billow out of him as he switched to water-cooled engines. His body began to morph as his chest exploded outward, and he suddenly grew the most luscious pair of mechanical
Anime titties?
Yes, Joe, I installed in myself the second largest pair of anime titties on the market, so I would never have to wait for Hambo's wallet again.
I knew he was a fucking fag.
That doesn't really seem like a power-up. Are those things hard to carry around? And don't they put a lot of strain on your neck?
None of that matters, Joe, because the titties are overclocked to have the most realistic jiggle physics you have ever seen, and they will be your undoing.
Alex's titties began to vibrate at 1,000 hertz, and suddenly, he was too fast to follow. He got behind Him-Ham and swung his tits once. Him-Ham was hit by 4,000 titty smacks all at once. Before Joe could respond, Alex was on him. Next, titties moving so fast they felt like they were leaping through different dimensions. Could it have really been true? Did Alex develop jiggle physics that could work across the fourth dimension? It was all Joe could do to only get hit 1,000 times by the titties, which was impressive, but Alex wasn't done yet.
You're breathing heavy, Joe. That's why I made myself robotic. A robot never needs rest, and I can be with Pyra forever without running out of stamina to please her. Face it, you're second-rate trash. Now, face my hentai attack!
Thousands of mechanical tentacles began to flow out of Alex's body and began to tangle Joe up and prod him in an exploratory fashion before twisting his arm out of the socket and throwing him to the wayside. Joe tried to get up on his knees, but Him-Ham was vigorously masturbating to the sight. But he would beat him. There's nothing left for him to do. But listen.
I told you it was hopeless, Joe. Now, lay down and die.
My friend Alex would never watch hentai. He watches anime for the plot. He told me to watch Charlie's Race, the best anime of the season. I refuse to accept this reality. I refuse to accept you.
Joe's body began to glow and heat began to pour off him like waterfall from the Amazon. He was overflowing strength and ready to boil. This was his ultimate, his limit-breaking power, his ultra instinct.
Alex, I'm sorry I wasn't there when Hambo betrayed you.
I'm sorry I wasn't able to buy your DLC. We needed most of all. I'm sorry I wasn't there. We needed a friend.
What are you doing? Why are you apologizing for things that aren't even your fault? Why are you so humble?
But most of all, I'm sorry about what I'm going to do to you next. The sincerity of Joe's apologies and the weight of his humility began to make Alex falter. He launched himself back at Alex at breakneck speeds, and they began to exchange attacks faster than human mind could even comprehend. None of Alex's attacks could hit Joe, but none of Joe's attacks seemed to stagger Alex. It was then that Joe knew he had lost. His ultra instinct was imperfect, and he could not beat Alex. There was only one chance left. Joe took Alex's fist and slammed it into the ground, sticking him there. Then he did a sweet backflip behind Alex and fired a Kamehameha with every last bit of power he had. And Alex was nowhere to be seen.
It's finally over.
Sorry, Joe.
Joe fell to the ground as Alex was already behind him. Titties firing off like a Gatling, peppering Joe's body in infernal pain as his ultra instinct wore off.
Now we can dispose of the bodies once I finish my business here, and finally, after all these years, claim my prize.
Alex walked into Nintendo HQ and killed all the cards. He made it all the way to a secret underground floor where Reggie was keeping the top secret DLC package. There she was, the anime titties of his dream. Pyra herself was exactly the way he had pictured her to be. He took out his $100 Nintendo eShop card from his pocket, the one he had taken off Hambo's dead body in his timeline, as he slid it through the ID card reader. The light went green, and Pyra was free.
Now, awaken, my love. Together we will rule the eShop in every timeline.
LOL, you're like Matt Cube. Roar XD.
Finally, Wait. What did you say?
I said I'm ready for the cummies daddy. Roar XD.
Alex looked at her in shock.
No! This is not Pyra. This was never supposed to be Pyra. It's all wrong!
Alex is suddenly lost in rage, and dark energy starts firing all around his body, filling him up with pure... filling him up with pure energy until he and Pyra are overwhelmed, and the explosions tear apart the secret lab, leaving no one left. But in the sky, dark clouds begin to twirl around until they form Alex's face and begin speaking.
Oh, foolish mortals, the disgrace you have left upon this world with that false Pyra disgusts me. I have shed my human form and have become the sole embodiment of DLC in the universe, and now you will all...
Hey, faggot, get out of the sky, I got shit to do.
Come back, daddy, I'm ready for the cummies daddy. Roar XD.
Troy had gotten out of the truck after being rudely awakened by the explosion.
I don't have time to waste with your no money having ass. I need to finish delivering this DLC and get my CDL so I can get paid. Now, if you don't want me to put you in a wheelchair like I did your mother, I suggest you get down here.
You utter fool. I will.
What? What are you gonna do? Not get laid? The only way you would get laid is if you crawled up a chicken's ass and waited. Now listen the fuck up. If I had wanted to spend time with a bitch, I would have taken your mother for a walk. Listen to me closely. You will never be a man. Your mother is. So stop trying. If I had known which sexual positions made the ugliest children, I would have done a different one with your mother.
What is happening? It burns.
Look, it's not that you're stupid. You just have bad luck trying to think. So save your breath. You'll need it to blow up any chance you have of a date. I thought it was true when I met Hambo, but you are absolute proof that evolution can go in reverse. Really, I should stop calling you stupid because it's an insult to stupid people.
Troy, you're so fucking gay.
I've been called worse. And gay? Please. I'm surer than the pole your mother dances on. I've seen people like you before, but usually I have to pay admission. Now get down here, so maybe I can see things from your point of view, assuming I can get my hand that far up your ass.
No!
The clouds suddenly dispersed, and Alex's body fell from the sky, completely engulfed in flames. When he hit the ground, Troy was there, waiting for him, belt in hand.
What?
That's right. Now take it like a man.
Troy started beating him savagely with his belt, and Alex was utterly defenseless.
Power.
Troy, his power rose. He can engulf anyone he meets in career-ending flames with his savage burn. Oh, there's a big echo.
FYI, the Alex I know will take a career ender, and then he asks for another. You take a joke like Mr.Lance. Now tell me, who is your motherfucking daddy?
You are Daddy.
Goddamn fucking right, you fucking cunt.
Troy whipped him one more time as he faded out of existence. The threat of Alex Black now gone, for the time being. Just then Him Ham's body began to sparkle and fade.
Him Ham, are you okay?
It's okay, Joe. I'm fading because the future has changed. I will return to a different future. Joe, you need to promise me something.
Anything for you, Him Ham.
So long as Alex does not get his DLC, Alex Black will not have to be a threat. So long as Alex does not get his DLC, Alex Black will only be a threat. We have only prolonged Judgment Day.
What do you mean?
Alex Black will return unless the Alex of the present gets his DLC. Him Ham's body is now fading fast, and little of him is left. Promise me you'll make Hambo buy Alex's DLC, or else the future will never change.
That's a tall order there, buddy.
Promise me. Him Ham's body fades away. Reggie emerges from the wreckage unharmed and walks towards Troy, all while brushing off the dust and flames. Troy, I am here. Fuck, there's a really bad echo. Let me go to my room for a second.
Yo, what happened to Bling Bling Boy?
Oh, he died.
Troy, I am here to award you your CDL.
Reggie, I did not know you had the power to award a CDL.
Ha ha ha, Troy. You see, CDL is just an anagram we have here at the wonderful world of Nintendo. It is a anagram for DLC. Very, very exclusive DLC. And this is your free download code, now available. Troy quickly grasped the download code to print his CDL from Reggie's large, grizzled, and manly hairy hands.
So, it looks like we did it, Troy. Our mission is finally complete.
Thanks, Joe. I couldn't have done it without you. I'm ready to be too rich to hang out with you. I'm ready to be too rich to hang out with you now. I'm ready to be too rich to hang out with you. I'm ready to be too rich to hang out with you now. I'm ready to be too rich to hang out with you losers now. But what's next for you, Joe?
Well, Troy, I think it'll be useful if I learn how to control that Ultra Instinct power, in case we ever have to fight another great threat as Alex. I'm going to train on Lord Beerus' world until the next time I'm needed. Plus, I hear there's a new god of destruction in charge, so it'll be a good chance to see how strong he is.
Well, Joe, unlike those other fuckers, I actually respect you. So if you need my help, just call me with the Universe Trucker signal. With the Universal okay. Well, Joe, unlike all those other fuckers, I actually respect you. So if you ever need my help, just call me with the Universal Trucker symbol. And me and my DLC will be there for you.
CDL.
It's an anagram!
Troy makes a motion with his arm, the universal symbol for school children on a field trip, to tell the truck next to them. The next to the bus to honk its horn.
Thanks, Troy. I guess this is goodbye for now. Until we
Then
meet again.
Joe walked off into the sunset as Troy got back in his truck, now a fully licensed CDL driver, and the world was safer knowing he had one more capable driver behind the wheel. But as you know, you have to stay after the credits.
Oh, Hambo, look at the sea.
Jim is walking his daughter up to the security desk. As he approaches, he greets the man in a friendly hello. They have been co-workers for years.
Well, Jim, glad to see you brought your little one for the big day. And how have you been? You sure have grown a lot since the last time I saw you, huh, little Janine?
Hi, Uncle Bill!
Oh, I'm just glad to see Sarah finally stopped acting like such a bitch and let me finally take her to an event for once.
Daddy, I know how to spell. I'm telling Mom.
Tell you what, honey, if you be a good girl for the rest of the day, I'll take you to get some ice cream on the way home. How's that sound?
Yay! Ice cream!
Ha ha, gets her every time.
You two are a pair. Just be careful in here today, Jim. Bring your daughter to work day is especially tricky at prison.
I will, Bill. No worries. Come on, Janine.
Okay, Daddy.
She's a little slow. The pair begins walking down a line of prison cells. Janine is fascinated by all the burly, gruff men behind each of the bars. Her tiny legs struggle to keep up with her father's as she hurries along. She drops the teddy bear she had been holding with her in front of the cell. She sees a hand reach between the bars and pick it up. Did you drop this, little girl?
I did. Thank you, mister.
Hey, you're a kid, just like me. We should play together sometime.
Sure, mister. Sounds fun. My name's Janine. What's yours?
My name is Mark. A smile is seen on Mark's face as the image fades to black. Coming soon, Resurrection of Anne.
That's a wrap. Beautiful.